sassy, a little bit crazy, a little bit classy. We got dreams and we got goals. We're just a couple of old sassholes.
Hello.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Welcome to a couple of sassholes podcast. I'm Brooklyn Maple.
And I am Heather Terry.
And this is our podcast. Hopefully you've listened to it before, but if this is your first trip around the sun, if you will, with us, we are all about that true crime, those fucked up stories, those things that make you really reconsider walking down that dark alley at night by yourself.
Yes.
Like we did yesterday.
Yes, we did in the cold.
So Heather and I went to the Kane Brown concert at the Ford Center in Evansville last night, which was a delightful experience.
Yes.
We had a lot of really funny things happen.
So many.
So many funny things. So I know that Heather totally wants me to tell this story, but
yeah, more than anything I want. More. You need to share this with the world.
I feel for this young lady this morning, but
what if she listens?
Who knows?
If she does, it was a funny story. I would want you to tell
you were
the story
drunk, and this was a funny story. Yeah. So this girl was in the restroom, and she was definitely drunk off the hooch, if you will.
She was hitting the sauce.
Yeah, she was hitting that sauce. And I not unfortunately, but I was very sober. So this is a crystal clear picture in my mind. But she was very drunk. She couldn't walk straight to open up the door. So she went to grab the door and missed it.
Ooh.
Yeah. You always know. And then she ratcheted back around. She tried for a second time. When she grabbed the door, she opened it up, and I was behind her because I was walking out of the restroom too. And she turns to me and she goes, "There's poop in the toilet, just so you know." And I was just like, I just blinked at her. That's all I could do. All I could do is blink. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to say. I just walked right out of the restroom. And I was just like,
oh,
what?
She 100% took a drunk thunder dump. In the semi-private suite level, we need to announce.
This was
suite level.
We were the only two in the restroom.
I was telling Brooklyn, because she's been in suites, just not ours for work. I said, hey, this is semi-private. It's better. And then some girls just taking a dump and sharing her poop tails.
Yes. And then
with Brooklyn.
Later on, we walk in, and I'm like, so I'm not paying attention whenever I walk in to use the restroom. I didn't smell or notice the fucking putrid scent of vomit. And so I'd used one of the first stalls, and the smell was really starting to
knock
appear.
You on your ass.
Yes. And I was like, okay, look around. The smell was so strong. I was like, I'm using the restroom. I'm just kind of like,
are you standing in it? What's
happening? Why is the smell so intense?
Yeah.
So then I go to walk out of the restroom, and a woman had walked in, and she goes, "Are you still in here?" And this other girl said, "Yeah." And I didn't even notice that there was somebody else in there. And they were at least in their mid 40s. So, and this is halfway through the concert. Maybe.
It was pretty early.
Kane Brown had pretty much just come out. Come out.
2 openers.
Yes. Anywho, she's like, "Are you done throwing up? Here's your bag." And the woman, and I was like, wow. The smell was so intense. I didn't see anything, but I'm like, how does it smell that smell?
It was like she ate dead bodies. It was bad because it hit me in the face, and
the smell never went away after that.
No. No.
Mm-mm. And I'm just like, what kind of life choices, people?
I mean,
I get that it's
been there. But it's
at 45.
No,
she had to
It's been a long time since I have been on that train.
Yes,
but yes,
yeah, it was pretty brutal.
Maybe we'll just think maybe she just got a divorce. Maybe she's just maybe it was her birthday.
Sure. Anyway,
yeah.
Well, then she kind of ruined her birthday by spending the entire concert throwing up in the bathroom. But to each their own. So Heather was just saying how amazing this bathroom experience was going to be because it's semi-private. And I'm like, so I literally have heard about shit, and now it smells like vom.
Now our new joke. That's our new joke. There's poop in the toilet. Just so you know.
If it's going to be a shitty day, I'm gonna be like, there's poop in the toilet.
There's
just
poop
so you know.
Just so
already
you know.
Kind of shitty.
I want to make sure you know
that there's poop in the toilet.
That drunken thunder dumps happen at the Ford Center in Evansville.
Yeah.
Indiana.
Good
even.
times. I don't know what else to say. And then we couldn't get a lift. So then Heather and I, who have a true crime podcast, had to walk probably 2 miles in shoes that were not meant for walking.
No, I had brand new Amazon, beautiful new boots that were
Yes.
$30. So you know they are not meant
For arch
for
support.
orthopedic functions.
Yeah.
They are meant for looks.
And I
photos.
had nice shoes on. They're very, very comfortable boots, but we also played laser tag in them earlier. So I had been fucking G.I. Jane and all up in that shit. AKA Stealth. That was my name.
Oh yeah,
I
We
was
did
not stealthy.
Laser tag for work, and then it was actually kind of fun.
Yeah. I mean, shooting your coworkers is always a good time, if you ask me.
Yes.
Let's talk about the podcast and what's happening. So,
Okay.
as you guys know, we have been trying our best to coordinate things, and sometimes I've been having a lot of IT issues. Every time the podcast is not loaded, it has been a Brooklyn Maple experience. I don't know what it is, but shit wouldn't load at my house. And then they did an update to the system. And then lo and behold, we figured it out. We shouldn't have any more issues there. We do leave for our road trip.
Oh my gosh, this comes out. We'll be on the road.
Yeah. And then we'll be recording on the road for the next one. So you guys will get to hear about that.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
I'm very excited too.
And yes, it's gonna be fun. This is my first road trip. Shockingly.
That is,
Because this one's more loosey goosey. We're like, we have cities we're going to and certain things we want to hit up, but it's kind of loosey goosey.
that's usually what road trips are.
Yeah,
though.
I know. Normally, I just go to a destination to be on vacation.
So that's not a road trip.
No, I know.
Right.
So
So,
I've
this
never-
is indeed your first road trip.
Yes.
Yeah. You were like, it's kind of, and I'm like, no, I think it might be your,
No, I
your
think
first
it
one.
is. Aw,
Yeah.
that's I'm really excited.
You were my first girls trip.
Yeah, I forgot. Yeah.
Yeah. Look at that.
Oh, okay. Well,
That's cute. Let's do this.
let's do it.
Heather's story was 87 pages long. So, and she was like, well, I'll record. And I was like, I don't know if you know this, Becky, but I have not recorded in 3 weeks because my story, we had Chad and then Heather's story to make up for a time that I had done a story. And then I was like, I want to fucking talk too. I want to be a part of this podcast.
She caught on to my scheme. I'm just going to phase her out.
Yeah.
It'd be more fun. A couple of sassholes. It's just going to be a single sasshole.
Well,
One
you are the
singular sassle.
sassiest asshole out of the bunch. So,
Yeah, I agree.
yeah, take it. Take it in the butt.
What?
Take it in the
There's
butt.
poop in the toilet, just so you know.
Anywho.
All right, bring it down from Funville and tell me
Yeah,
this awful
let's
story.
talk about it. Most of my information came from Wikipedia and then also All That's Interesting. I presume that you know this story.
I don't actually.
I haven't told you the story.
But you told me to look up a name.
Oh, you didn't remember the name? I figured you wouldn't remember. That. You know what? That just sounded really terrible. I was gonna say I figured you wouldn't remember the victim's name. That's terrible.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, that's usually not what we remember. We remember the name of the
shitty person who did it.
the serial killer, if you will, because this is a serial killer story.
Okay.
If you're a realtor, my apologies that I had named this story when I named this story. A couple of sassholes, we do not discriminate against any realtors, but I did name it, and this is why I hate realtors. But I love you if you are a realtor and you listen to our podcast, just so
Yes.
you know. Please take that with a grain of salt in your ass. Okay. So on October 31st, 2016, we have Kayla Brown and Charlie Carver. And so they drive to Moore, South Carolina to a property of this guy. His name's Todd Colehemp. Have you ever heard of him?
No.
Oh.
No.
Brr.
I know.
All right. Well, they're a couple. They show up to this guy's house. They're going to clear some underbrush for him. According to 48 Hours, Brown had done some cleaning work for the guy before. So she had done some work for his real estate business and had basically like cleaned out his offices for him before.
Oh.
So she had no reason, like there's no suspicious reasoning that she wouldn't go to this guy's property to do some work with him, with her boyfriend. It's 96 acres.
Oh,
So
that's
it's
a lot, right?
Whoa, that's a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. So Brown, spoiler alert, Kayla does survive. So that's the important part.
Okay.
It's really a survivor story for her, which really was almost luck that she was found, but then also all the other people that he had unfortunately killed, and kind of the story of how this seemingly normal guy had become a serial killer.
Man.
And there are
Okay.
shows about it. I haven't pulled them all up.
There are
It's
shows?
too juicy to not fucking have a story about it.
I'm kind of hungover, so I think I'm going to watch it today if I
Okay.
can find a show.
I was like, Heather thinks that she's going to be able to just go home and lounge around. I'm going to kidnap her and I'm going to make her do things with me.
Oh, that's why
She
you gave
doesn't
me
look
that
happy.
look. Okay.
Kayla later had told police that he had walked inside. So Todd walked inside. They get to this property.
Okay.
Todd walks inside and he says he's going to go get hedge clippers. But what he does is he comes out with a gun
Huh?
and shoots 3 shots into her boyfriend's chest.
Just, wow.
Just literally, he's like, I'm going to go get hedge clippers because they're coming over there to do
Yeah,
yard
let me
work.
get you some tools
He
and then
walks
boom, you're
right
dead.
in
That would be, wow.
and then
Okay.
just shoots him 3 times.
That's terrible.
He grabbed her from behind, took her inside the house, put her on the floor, and then handcuffed her.
Oh, no. I don't like this already.
I know it's terrible.
Mm-hmm.
He ends up holding on to her for the next 2 months.
Huh?
She was chained inside of a shipping container.
Oh, I did. I know
Yeah,
this one
you
now.
know this
Okay,
one.
okay,
The second
yes,
I say
yes.
the shipping container. So big property.
Oh, I hate
Huge
this.
shipping container. He literally has a, and you can see the photos because they
Yeah.
were recording it when they found her. That's the craziest part about all of this is like, not the craziest part. There's a lot of crazy parts,
Yeah.
but it was recorded. So
Yeah.
like the cops had a camera on them when they found her.
Mm-hmm.
And so she had a dog collar around her and she was chained from the neck to like a part of the shipping container.
It's the photo. Y'all, if you're going to look up the
Yep.
photos, it's pretty, it'll shake you up a little bit. So just warning on that.
Absolutely. So he held on to her and he would basically he would let her come out once or twice a day, but essentially it was just to rape her. I mean, sadly, there is no woman being held captive, and that's not
I know.
his the terrible experience that happened. So one time he actually walked her around the property, which was 96 acres, so huge property, and he showed her 3 different graves that it appeared to have looked like someone like me or a guy that a person had buried him. It wasn't like a professional job, if you will.
Yeah.
And he had told her, Kayla, if you try to escape, you're going directly into one of those graves.
Wow.
Yeah. So while she was locked inside of this shipping container, she tried basically to distract herself. She did have books and a DVD player that he had given her.
Was there a light?
I think so. I don't
can't remember.
It doesn't. I don't know if I'm going to cover that. We'll
No,
have
I
to
don't.
find
I
out.
just literally was like, it would be even worse if you were
Oh, and just the pitch darkness.
Just
Yeah, there
pitch
had to have been a
black.
She slept on 2 thin dog beds
Oh my God.
and basically just had crackers and peanut butter or anything that he would like give her so that she could survive.
I fucking forgot. I
Yeah, it's terrible.
hate this guy. All right.
Several days after Kayla and Charlie Carver, they went missing, right? Her Carver's mom just figured, her name's Joanne Shiflett. She became concerned because she hadn't heard from him, but he worked like 12-hour days. And so she just figured he was exhausted and he was sleeping. And every time that she had texted him, it was just kind of poor timing in his life.
Yeah.
At that moment. But as the days kind of went on, she knew there was something wrong. And then also Kayla's friends started to get really concerned too because of the radio silence from
Right.
her cell phone.
Yeah.
The couple's friends and families, they get more confused whenever there's strange posts that start appearing on their social media accounts. So odd Facebook statuses suggest that Brown and Carver had gotten married, purchased a home, and were living happily together.
So he got
But
on
they
there,
weren't responding to any of their text messages.
So that he got on their Facebook and it's just like, oh, we eloped. Peace out, friends and family.
Yeah, we just decided that out of nowhere, our relationship is now more important than us responding to anything that you say to us,
Right.
which is never the case
That's-
anymore.
No.
Maybe in the 50s when you didn't have cell phones, but not now.
Yeah.
According to the Anderson Independent Mail, investigators, they started their search by looking at the cell phones and the social media records of Brown and Carver. Yes, it took 2 months for them to find her, but I feel like they were really smart and I don't know why it took so long. I can't tell you on that one, but they started to piece together everything because the big difference too is that Carver and Kayla, like, they were going there together, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they had communication through their social media messages, their messenger, and then also their text messages that they were going to Colham's house.
Got it. Yeah. I wonder why it took 2 months.
Me too. So they'd gone through, I guess first it was the mom had decided to do the missing persons report, and it probably took a few days to get to that experience. So we probably lost a week just in everyone being like, are they missing or are they ignoring us?
And then if that guy, if he's prominent in the community,
Super prominent.
no, they can't just be like, you have this girl and you killed it. Like they have to have a solid
Very true.
case to
Yeah.
go to him before, and to even get a warrant or anything, they have to have.
And they had said that it wasn't until police were able to look through Kayla Brown's Facebook records did they discover that her and Colehemp that she was working on his land, which was within the area where her cell phone was last pinged. So they knew.
Yeah.
The cops knew that she had gone there, and that was the last time that she was seen.
And then and that's probably the last ping that her phone did.
And that's what I just said.
Yeah, no, I know. I was like, that.
And that's whenever they were able to finally get the search warrant.
Okay.
So
I wasn't ready for the story, I don't think.
I don't think you were either.
I'm like, oh, okay.
Well, I think the other hard part is he had 96 acres to kind of continue with his rampage against people because he had that property. And when you have that much property, if you have land, people aren't going to be on it. They have to be invited. And then whenever it's that many acres, it's that large, that's going to take a lot of work to scour. You're not going to just happen upon anything.
Yeah.
Unless you're there looking for something. Mm-hmm. So they're searching. What the fuck is searching? What a word.
I love that you just did that.
That was really cute. That was perfect.
I'm dehydrated now.
Oh, are you feeling feelings?
I'm slowly declining from my life choices yesterday. At least didn't leave poop in the toilet and share it with a stranger.
Always good to know. As they're searching the 96 acres, investigators, and this is what I was talking about, it's recorded, they heard a banging noise coming from a large metal shipping container.
Oh.
So they're walking by and they see it. They don't think anything of it.
Yeah. Why
and she hears them walking and she starts banging on the fucking shipping container.
Good for her for doing that.
Yeah. So then they end up cutting open the shipping container, and that's where they find her inside, chained around with a chain around her neck and her ankle to keep her from trying to escape. When the police asked her where Charlie Carver was, she responded, he shot him. Todd Colehemp shot Charlie Carver 3 times in the chest. He wrapped him in a blue tarp, put him in the bucket of the tractor, locked me down here. I've never seen him again.
Oh my, on top of her being locked up and victimized and then it was she had to watch her boyfriend die in 2.8 seconds out of nowhere.
That would be.
And then the guy that did it raped her repeatedly. I'm angry.
She's just in a dark.
Yeah. And it's terrifying.
Yeah.
Like the photos and everything. I see them
truly
in my head
terrifying.
now.
Yeah. Yep.
Awful.
Yeah. I can't even. Yeah. Like, I think most of you're sitting there and you're devastated over the loss of your boyfriend. And now you're also in this terrible situation and horrible things are happening to you. There's like no reprieve to thinking like, I'm going to stay alive so I can see my spouse again.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine what she went through.
Yeah.
They also found Charlie's car, which had been spray painted brown and then dumped in the woods.
Oh.
Yeah.
You never hear about them spray painting a car. Usually it's like they lit it on fire or they sold it for parts.
Yeah, but it was his property.
Yeah.
So he figured he was so cocky at this point, he thought no one would figure out anything.
Ew.
It was such an easy thing for them to figure it out too.
Sounds like it.
It sounds like it was pieced together there really easily. The cell phone pinged, there's evidence that they went there.
Maybe it took a minute for them to get the cell phone records like they were holding it. I don't know. Who knows?
Who knows?
We don't know.
Yeah.
We're just being judgy.
Yep.
With our not criminology degrees.
It's very, very valid. During those 2 months that he had held Kayla captive, he told her about the previous crimes he had committed. And Brown later had said that he liked to brag that he was a serial killer and a mass murderer.
Ew.
He allegedly told Brown that he had killed nearly 100 people and that he wanted to murder even more because he had dreams of his body count being in 3 digits.
He's so gross.
Oh, he looks gross too. Yeah.
And he was a realtor.
Yes.
So, oh my God.
I
just think like, you're like, oh, I bought my house from
a murderer.
Yeah.
A serial killer.
The fuck?
The police ended up looking into these claims too, and they did realize that he was connected to at least 2 unsolved cases in the area. In 2003, he'd murdered 4 people in a nearby motorsports store.
What?
Yeah. And a mass shooting. He literally went into a fucking place and just shot and killed 4 people.
Fucking psycho.
Yeah. And no one knew who it was for 13 fucking years.
Wow. So of course he felt invincible.
Of course. Absolutely. How would you not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuckbag.
Just a few months before Brown and Carver had gone missing, he had hired a married couple to do work on his property, killed the husband, and raped the wife for a week before shooting her as well, and then burying them both in the graves that he had later showed Kayla.
Oh my God.
Well, now is where, are you ready for just the
No. I'm
icing
never
on
ready.
the shitty true crime cake?
No, I want cake.
During all of this,
Okay.
he was actually writing reviews online for the tools and weapons that he had used in the kidnappings and murders, in an act that earned him the nickname the Amazon Review Killer.
What?
In a review for a small shovel, he had written, "Keep in car for when you have to hide the bodies and you left the full-size shovel at home."
And people probably just thought he was joking.
100%.
Why would you think that they weren't? Because people try to write funny reviews all the time.
In another review for the padlock that he had locked her in, the shipping container, he said, "Solid locks, have 5 on a shipping container. Won't stop them, but sure will slow them down till they are too old to care."
What? Ew. Hate
Yeah.
him.
Yeah. Fucking me too, man.
God, my blood pressure's up.
I know, I can feel it. If you guys could see her face, she looks very angry. She's like a very angry bear.
From the eyebrows down.
So he also pleaded guilty to 7 counts of murder in court, 2 counts of kidnapping, and 1 count of criminal sexual assault. He was condemned to 7 consecutive life sentences, and he remains imprisoned in Columbia, South Carolina.
He's still there.
Now, Kayla, when they had asked her, "What message do you have for your captor?" She responded, "He tried to crush me, but I am not broken. He cannot destroy who I am. I won."
What? That makes me want to cry.
Poor sweet, but she's the only one that lived,
What?
the sole
I wanna
survivor of
know.
him.
What does she do now?
I didn't look that much into it because unfortunately now I wanted to take a moment or two and talk about Todd Colehemp and really kind of understand a little bit more of what turned this seemingly normal guy into a brutal serial killer and a rapist.
Yeah.
So he was born on March 7th of 1971 in Florida. He was raised in South Carolina and Georgia, so 2 different locations. His parents divorced when he was 2 years old, and his mother ended up getting custody of him. She married another man in the following years. So later psychological reports, they found that he had an unhealthy relationship with his stepfather, and he often wanted to live with his biological father, who he hadn't seen in 8 years. So one thing I will say is, like, he didn't like his stepdad, and I'm pretty sure it's just because he was
A stepdad.
a stepdad and he was a troublesome child, right?
Mm-hmm. So
He's a fucked up kid from the start.
Yeah.
But he created this different concept that if he lived with his dad, his real dad, everything would be different.
Yeah. I mean, I get that's kid logic.
Yeah.
Like, that's just little kid logic.
So let me tell you about how fucked up this guy was from the jump, though.
Okay.
In nursery school, he was known as being aggressive towards other children, and he would destroy their property.
Wow.
Like, he would literally just, like, fuck up their shit.
Just look them in the eye and rip their doll's head off.
Pretty much.
He sounds like a fucker that would do that.
At the age of 9, he started undergoing counseling because he was described as being explosive and preoccupied with sexual content.
At 9?
He also displayed cruelty to animals, shooting a dog with a BB gun and killing a goldfish with Clorox bleach.
What?
At 9.
They should have locked his ass up back then.
And now, okay, that would have been 1980.
So he went.
Now, real quick, I like to think that
Now it's different.
we like to say that, right? If you have a kid that is torturing animals, you can be like, oh, fuck.
They're not going to sweep it under the rug like they did back in the day.
Right. Like they'd hide, pray the gay away and do all those, like think that you can change things you can't change.
I just couldn't imagine being like, oh, where's Goldie, the goldfish? And he's like, oh, well,
And
he's
poured bleach
white
on him.
now and he's dead. So
I think with this guy specifically and with all of them, you're born that way, right? Like
he sounds like he was wired
Yeah, he was wired for this.
differently.
Colehemp's father later said that the only emotion his son was capable of was anger. He spent 3.5 months in a Georgia psychiatric hospital as an inpatient because of his inability to get along with other children. Yeah. Eventually, in 1983, he was sent to live with his biological father in Arizona after his mother and stepfather ended up separating. He took his father's surname and began working a number of local jobs, which this feels very young.
Yeah, like what? How?
I think that it's later on. He did inherit his father's hobby of collecting weapons
Oh, good.
and was taught by him to blow things up and make bombs.
What? Huh?
Despite this, though, their relationship did deteriorate due to his father's absence with a number of girlfriends.
Well, he sounds like a solid stand-up dude. I mean, bonding with his son, making bombs. What?
Well, and then he says that he wants to go back to his mom. So he's very much being that kid that is manipulative to the parents, and basically, I want to stay in whichever environment is more conducive to me at that time.
Yeah.
Which also creates psychological issues that you will then, whenever you're a manipulative person in your teens and youth, you will likely be a manipulative person in your adult life whenever you can actually get away with it.
You're going to grow to be an adult shithead instead of a teenage shithead.
Well, let me tell you what this motherfucker did when he was 15 years old. So on November 25th, 1986, he's 15-year-old. He's
Okay.
15 years old. Cole Hemp kidnapped a 14-year-old girl in Tempe, Arizona. He threatened her with a .22 caliber revolver, brought her back to his home, tied her up,
No.
taped her mouth shut, and raped her
At 15?
at 15. Afterwards, he walked her home and threatened to kill her younger siblings if she told anyone about what happened. He was then charged with kidnapping, sexual assault, and committing a dangerous crime against a child because she was only 14
Oh, my.
and he was 15. A 15-year-old.
Okay. What?
Yeah. In 87, he ended up pleading guilty to the kidnapping charge, and the other charges were dropped.
Why?
I don't know. But he was sentenced to 15 years in prison and was registered as a sex offender.
Okay.
According to the court records, he was diagnosed with borderline personality disorder and was noted as having an above average IQ of 118.
It pisses me off when shitty people are smart.
And I mean, he was destined for this.
Like, yeah. He's definitely wired differently for sure.
The judge in the case had said about Cole Hemp that he was very bright and should be advanced academically, but behaviorally and emotionally dangerous, and likely could not be rehabilitated. His probation officer wrote a similar description in court papers and added that Cole Hemp felt the world owed him something. His attorney in that case later went on to say that while defending him, he did not believe his client would go on to harm others in the future.
Really? Was he still being paid when he said that?
I'm sure.
Like,
They have to say
they
that.
have
They
to
have to
say-
say that so they can go to bed at night.
They had to. Oh my God. Fucking shit like that.
Well, he wasn't a gem in prison.
What?
Either. Yeah.
Figured that
he
he
was
would-
cited multiple times for violations that included violent behavior. After turning 20, however, he had no other records of disobedience.
Oh, I figured he would just like read or lead the Bible club.
Yeah, right?
And like baptize people in the showers or whatever they do on TV.
blood.
In blood.
I don't know.
Baptized in blood.
I don't know. That sounds like a really cheesy
Yeah.
murder flick. In August of 2001, he was released from prison after serving 14 years.
Good.
And moved to South Carolina where his mom was. So let's talk about that. He actually served his term. He was 15 and did this, and they gave him adult time.
Good. For once, they actually gave more than a slap
But
on
I
the
also
wrist.
think that time should have been maybe in a psychiatric.
Yeah. Who knows? I mean,
I mean, he had gone to a psychiatric place when he was like 8 or 9.
yeah, they should have locked him in there for 15
They should have
years.
just realized, dude is bad.
Yeah.
Homeboy's bad. Mm-hmm. Instead, they let him an overly smart.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing that happened with fucking, what's his name? The sexy serial killer. I hate to call him that, but he was good looking. The one with the yellow bug.
Bundy?
Yep. You're super smart. It's the super smart
Yeah.
ones that can do it and last forever.
Yeah, this guy, though, he's so cocky, you would think that he would try to, like, represent himself and be one of those guys because he's gotten away with shit for so long.
But did he? He never got away with anything.
Yeah.
That's what we have to stop and realize. He never got away with anything. 8 or 9, he went to a psychiatric hospital. Then he still did
Why'd
fucked
they-
up shit. Went to prison for. He never got away with anything
Yeah, you're right. Why
Yeah.
did they let him out?
because he did his term.
At the 3.5 months? No, I mean, at the psychiatric hospital.
I'm sure that he was so young they thought he was
God.
better. I don't.
I just think they'd be like, you did rip a bird's wings off or some shit. Like, he seems like that kind of kid. Just walk in there and there's just crows and buzzards laying around that he caught.
Okay. Anyway, in 2008, he's released from prison after serving his 14 years, like I said.
Yeah.
During his imprisonment, he attained and graduated from Central Arizona College with a bachelor's degree in computer science. In January 2002 to November of 2003, he worked as a graphic designer for a company in Spartanburg. He began studying at Greenville Technical College in 2003. He transferred to the University of South Carolina upstate the following year and graduated in 2008 with a bachelor's of science degree in business administration and marketing.
Wow.
So he has my degree.
And mine.
Yeah. The guy did this.
Damn.
So even though he was registered as a sex offender, he was able to get a real estate license.
How? I mean,
I-
no. Why?
Oh, well, let me tell you.
Okay.
He got the real estate license on June 30th in 2006, just so you know.
Okay.
But that's because he lied about his felony charge.
Uh,
So basically, that makes it sound like that if you just don't put it on the piece of paper, it didn't happen. They didn't do a background search or anything, I guess.
I mean, it must be
Because
hard up for realtors.
Yeah, no one's hard up for realtors. From this, though, he was able to build a firm that had a dozen agents that he employed. He had been recognized as a top-selling agent in the Carolina region.
Oh,
The firm was closed down later, obviously, following his arrest.
right.
But he had also acquired a private pilot license, and he had several properties out of state. In May of 2014, he had purchased nearly 100 acres of land, that property, located in an area 9 miles from the community of Moore. And he had spent $305,000, which is
Wow.
pretty amazing. But then he also put a fence around it. $80,000 was the cost of the fence.
80.
To fence, let's all understand that he bought 100 acres, 96 acres. That's an obscene amount.
Yeah.
The horse farms in Lexington,
Yeah.
those are the fences you're talking about. Like those people are like, I'm gonna not the same style of fence, but like that much fencing.
And that was like in 20
That was
years
2006.
ago. Yeah. So, I mean, well, I'm not doing
Who knows
that
what it
today.
would be?
It was under 20 years ago. But it would still be way more
Oh my
expensive
God.
now.
Fucking A.
Yeah.
That's all I can say.
I know.
And like, I mean, go him for being able to actually afford to like fence it. Because
Go him.
if I
Fuck
had that
him.
big property, I would want to fence too, because that's the only way that people who aren't paying attention will know what's public land and what's private. So there is another reason why you'd want it.
Well, he just doesn't want people to come to his cemetery.
Obviously. A customer who sold her home to Colehemp remembered him as being extremely outgoing and professional, but noted that he would often talk about his firearms and sometimes subtly used sexual innuendos during their conversations.
Ew. So he was gross.
Yeah. Conversely, like another woman who assisted one of his employees described him as angry and condescending towards her partner. A banker who worked with Colehemp had said that he often watched pornographic videos even at work.
Ew. I hate everything about him. Can I look up his face? I gotta. Should I look up his face? I feel like I should look.
Look at this shit. Yeah. Oh, totally.
She dropped her paper.
I don't know.
Oh, they're okay.
I lost my page. Real quick, though. He went to this Waffle House restaurant in Roebuck so much, right? Like he frequented it. His behavior disturbed the waitresses to the point where the male cook would have to come out from the kitchen and take his orders.
Because they wouldn't even. Oh.
Yeah, women would not know. Waitresses would go up there.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Real quick. Okay. According to this, though, one of the waitresses, her name was Megan Lee McCraw Coxey, was one of the people that he killed.
Oh.
Yeah.
I hate him. I hate everything about him. I'm trying to see what he looks like.
All right. I'm going to dive in now to the murders, okay? To what he did.
Okay.
So we mentioned this first. On November 6, 2003, a customer found 4 people shot dead inside Superbike Motorsports, a motorcycle shop in Chesney. The victims were identified as owner Scott Ponder, who was 30, service manager Brian Lucas, who was 29, mechanic Chris Sherbert, 26, and bookkeeper Beverly Guy, who was 52. And that was also Ponder's mother, who was the owner. All 4 died from multiple gunshot wounds. Before Colehemp confessed to the shootings in 2016, they believed that the gunman, armed with a pistol, entered the shop from the back and killed Sherbert as he worked. He then killed Guy in the middle of the showroom, Lucas was at the main doorway, and Ponder in the parking lot. According to Ponder's wife, Colehemp was a disgruntled customer who had been in the shop several times. According to Colehemp's mother, he attempted to return a motorcycle there, but the employees laughed at him and they would not return the money he had paid for the motorcycle and embarrassed him for not knowing how to ride one properly. So he got embarrassed. Can you imagine?
Wow.
Can you imagine that you just got embarrassed
And you just shoot people.
and you just killed 4 people
He's
because you got fucking embarrassed? Don't get me wrong. I get embarrassed, but like, fuck it. You know?
Yeah, I don't.
Fuck
I just
it.
Don't care. What
Not
people-
enough for that.
No, no. You just your banjo teacher. Like when you go to lessons and then you're trying to figure it out. He's like he laughs at you. No.
So you already know about the next one is on August 31st, 2016. That was Kayla Brown, 30, and her boyfriend, Charles David Carver, who was 32, that went missing after they went there to remove brush from one of his properties. Carver was later found dead of multiple gunshot wounds on the property. Interest in the disappearance of Brown and Carver increased as a result of posts on Carver's Facebook account following their disappearance, which we already know about, and prompted all that speculation. They ended up finding her and finding his car, as we know. And according to everything, as we've already mentioned, that she had witnessed Carver being shot, which is so sad.
Yeah.
2 other bodies were discovered on his property following his arrest, and that was on November 6th and the 7th. And they were later identified as husband and wife, Johnny Joe Coxey, 29, and Megan Lee McCraw Coxey, 26, which was a waitress. And they were both residents of Spartanburg, who were reporting missing December 22nd of 2015. They too were hired on to the property, killed by gunshot wounds to the head. And that was on Christmas. Based on what they believe that they were shot in the head on Christmas or the day after Christmas.
That sucks.
Yes.
God. And I looked him up. He's gross.
He's very gross.
Like,
I'm
ew.
going to list the names just one more time because that's always important for the
Yes.
people that the lives he had stolen and robbed at young ages. Obviously, the 14-year-old girl that survived his rape, they never named her. Scott Ponder, who was 30, Brian Lucas, 29, Chris Sherbert, 26, Beverly Guy, 52, Johnny Joe Coxey, 29, Megan Lee McCraw Coxey, 26, Kayla Brown, who survived at 30, and her boyfriend, Charles David Carver, who died at 32. As you know, he was arrested shortly after Brown's rescue. He later confessed to the Chesney shootings and the murders of the Coxeys in exchange for allowing him to talk to his mother, give her a photograph, and transfer money to the college fund of a friend's child. While meeting with his mother, he reportedly confessed to the killings and kidnappings. When he confessed to the Chesney shootings, Colehemp said he shot each of the victims once in the forehead, a detail the investigation had never released to the public. They did search his property, and they also uncovered numerous weapons, including a 9mm pistol outfitted with suppressors, semi-automatic rifles, and an undetermined amount of ammunition. Because there was no record of a background check under Colehemp's name for the purchase of a firearm, investigators believe he likely acquired these weapons illegally. I'm going to literally get to the guy who bought the guns for him.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Shortly following Colehemp's arrest, authorities in that area discovered a number of seemingly joking product reviews from various items like the padlocks, shovels, tasers, and gun accessories.
Ew.
Yes.
Hopefully they took those down.
Another one of the reviews, which we kind of talked about, was for a shovel. This is a folding shovel, and it said, "Keep in car for when you have to hide the bodies and you left the full-size shovel at home, ... Does not come with a midget, which would have been nice."
What?
Yeah, they didn't put that in the other part that I had read, and I was just like, huh.
He's, now that I picture him in my head, because I've fucking Googled him, it's,
Oh, yeah, he just looks like a douchebag.
he looks like he's overcompensating for a small dick.
Yes. He ended up talking to his mom, and his mother had asked how many people, because he was like, I've killed more people than that list. And he had told her that she didn't have enough fingers.
He also seems like a gross bragger.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like he's like, they already know I did it, so.
Yeah. Then I feel like if you really did kill more people, you would tell them, because you obviously want the attention.
Yeah. Because he's
he's an asshole. During the interrogation, he claimed to have shot a victim in Arizona. On November 18th of 2016, it was reported that the Tempe Police Department had begun an investigation into his claim, searching through unsolved homicides in the past 3 decades. They said they'd focus on some cases that were dated from 1983 to 1986, when he was living with his father, and then also between August of 2001, when he completed his sentence for kidnapping, and November 2001, when he had moved back to South Carolina. On November 25th, police in Greer, South Carolina announced that they had named Colehemp as the person of interest in an unsolved 2003 bank robbery and triple homicide at the local Blue Ridge Savings Bank. Oh. This crime was separated from the Chesney shootings by 6 months. However, as of May 16, 2018, there's no definitive link between Colehemp and the killings that we've talked about, and he also has denied any involvement in the case. I don't know if he thinks maybe if he doesn't say something that he would get Like, you're going to die in jail. Get over it. You're not going to get, it's just the parole part, I think.
Yeah, I'm just angry bear about him.
He also, though, if you want to hear more about how big of a douchebag this guy, in December of 2017, he actually wrote to the Spartanburg Herald Journal claiming that he had more victims. And they just hadn't been discovered. So he basically, I don't know. I can't tell. It's like he's saying that he has more victims. He says he did it. They're like, oh, we can tie him to this one. He's like, oh, I didn't do it.
It sounds like his new car smell was starting to wear off, and he was like, oh, no one's paying attention to me. So he writes a fucking letter because he's a douche canoe.
Pretty much. He's like, I want more attention on me.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. And he's gross. He has man boobs, too. I hate him.
Yeah, he definitely gained a ton of weight.
Yeah, he'd been hitting up that prison cafe a little bit.
On May 26, 2017, Colehemp pleaded guilty to 7 counts of murder, 2 counts of kidnapping, and 1 count of criminal assault. I think we talked about that, criminal sexual assault, and was sentenced to 7 consecutive life sentences without the possibility of parole and a plea bargain. So once more, he did all of that so that he didn't get capital punishment because he could have.
Oh, I was wondering why he pled guilty, because he seems like the douchebag that would not, just to make him work for it a little bit.
Yeah. He still repeatedly says that there's at least 2 more murders out there.
Then why would he? He just wants to dangle that carrot.
Look at this. In August of 2020.
Okay.
Some of Colehemp's belongings went to auction, and all of the proceeds were donated to the victims' families.
Fuck yes. Good.
Yeah, that's
Sell
amazing.
everything. Sell it all.
Just so you know, he also ruined the life of some Dustin Lawson. He's the man who was accused of buying the firearms and the silencers for Colehemp. Despite knowing he was a convicted felon, he now faces federal charges.
Why would he do that?
He admitted to buying at least 12 guns and 5 silencers from 2012 to 2016.
Why?
Lying that they were for himself. He pleaded guilty to 36 federal firearm charges and was sentenced to 8 years and 3 months in prison.
I'm glad he went to prison.
Yeah. So he is serving his sentence at Butner Medium. I don't even know where the fuck that is. And he is expected to be released next year, November 12th.
What? Money?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Money.
It always has to be money.
Like
everything's fucking about money, ain't it?
He had to get paid off. Man, I forgot how fucking bad that was.
Yeah, me too.
Ugh.
It's terrible.
God.
I don't know what else to say besides how terrible.
I want to know about Kayla Brown's life.
I'm intrigued. So here's question number 1.
Okay.
So that sweet little love, the waitress that he had. I'm sorry,
Megan Lee.
Whoa, too many pieces of paper. I'm going to throw them on the ground. Okay. Megan Lee McCraw Coxey. So she made it 1 week after he had killed her husband. Was that because he didn't have anywhere to put her? Because Kayla was 2 months.
Yeah, I don't.
So he wasn't like he literally killed 4 people purely out of the fact that he got embarrassed. And then when nobody would date him because he's a fuckwad, like how long was Kayla going to live? And I'm sure that's a question she will always have.
I think maybe he was escalating and liked the power he had over her when he was showing her the graves and was like,
maybe,
like he just liked the fact that he could be like, I could kill you at any time. And she was like, please don't. Who knows?
Yeah. Would he have done it again? Would he have set it up and he just find a new person that he liked and do the same thing to her and then just go in there and shoot her and bury her and then swap them out? Like in that way, he
probably. Yeah.
The world was his oyster, if you will. But he also didn't get I can't believe that there was a shooting in 86 and you're
right.
2003. I'm sorry.
You're right, though. He didn't get away with anything. And most of the time they grow, and we've seen in the stuff that we've covered, they grow and escalate, and because they get away with it.
Right.
And he was just like, he just didn't give a fuck.
Right. He was like, this is my nature. I will do this.
Well, I hope he's a power bottom in prison.
He'd have to be. That fat ass belly ain't fucking shit. I bet he hasn't seen his dick since fucking 2015. I was guessing. If I was a betting lady. That's what I have to say. Fuck him.
Oh, fuck him for real.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, that was my shitty story of serial killer and realtor Todd Colehemp.
Oh God!
But really, the surviving story of Kayla Brown, and also the sad stories of everyone he took.
I don't know. Could you imagine being one of the realtors that worked for him? I just am thinking about the people that he affected. So many.
I can't get over the fact that he was so fucking weird and gross and scary that women wouldn't serve him that a cook who cannot take an order.
Yeah.
Because they're a cook. You know, like they're like, dude, John, can you go out there and fucking do this for me, please? That Todd guy's back. And then he ended up murdering one of them.
Yeah. Well, maybe it's because he got embarrassed because they didn't want to come to his fucking table because he fucking sucked. Because, he liked to do that out of embarrassment.
Yeah.
He did not cope well with that.
And what also sucks is these women were being smart and they all came with a spouse. And he just shot them the second he could.
Yeah.
So sad. You guys, we gotta. I mean, she had even said too. She was like, I had no reason not to go.
Yeah.
To his house to do this. Like there was no.
Man.
I start getting out of my car with my gun every time, and everyone's like, "Are you about to shoot me?" And it's like, "No. Are you gonna fucking step to me? I just need to know." You cool?
You just roll your window down. Drop your weapon. They're like, "What do you mean?"
Do you have one on you?
They're like, "I have a smoothie." What are you?
I'm not dropping this. This was $9.
You're like, "Is that a smoothie or a bomb?" Who knows? Anywho, well, that was good.
Thank you.
It was bad.
It was bad,
but it was a bad story. But you did a good job.
Thank you.
Rephrase.
I appreciate that.
My story is about 483 pages long. So unless you would like to do our first 4-hour episode, I think that I'm going to hold it till when we get back from vacation.
I think that'd be wonderful. I'm very pumped about our Savannah, Georgia story.
You guys, while you're listening to this, we are going to be, what day is that? We're going to be in Savannah, right? No,
nope.
Atlanta.
We will be in Atlanta.
Atlanta, Savannah, and Asheville. Here we come.
She says Nashville.
Asheville.
Oh, wow. Your accent is beautiful. I definitely heard Nashville. Yes, we're very excited. We're going to be on the road. We'll make sure to post to our website. Everyone that follows us on our personal pages, too, our deepest sympathies that you have to see something 3 times on your feed.
Oh, I'm not
If you can interact, please interact, preferably with the Couple of Sassals Facebook page, because we are going to start making sure we say we're going to do it, but we really do need to start kind of.
Oh, we're making some moves. We're making moves.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
We're leaning in.
We are leaning in.
Don't forget, hit us up if there's any stories you want us to do. We're kind of booked out for the next 6 weeks, but we promise we'll get to them at some point.
Yeah, that's my sister. She's very organized. She keeps the ship afloat.
That I do. All right, you guys. Well, we love you.
Yeah.
Listen. Wait. Will you say it?
Right. Rate, review, subscribe. Please
Jeez.
tell your mom, tell your sister, not the kids,
and all your gay friends.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Never forget the gays. They're more important than us.
And more
all
fun.
Right. We love you.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Theodore, can I pet that dog?